Well, again, I don't have a blanket opinion really on anything. As you know, I'm a very specific kind of thinker and approach to all of this. So after an assessment, I would be able to give you an opinion for that specific person and that specific procedure. But, I just think in my own life, as you know, I broke my hip as a youngster. And I've had hip replacements since, but I can remember going to a good friend, who was a chiropractor, and he set me up in this, and then he said, well, I cannot take your knee into a side roll position on the table because my hip was so bad. So he climbed up on the table, took a contact on my iliac crest, and jumped down on it. In other words, he broke open my sacroiliac disc. And then people will say, what? The sacroiliac joint is it's bulletproof. You can hurt. I can tell you, I crawled for quite a number of days. I couldn't have this pelvic integrity to support my body weight, and I crawled. I crawled into this. The funny thing is, we're still friends, but there might be an example of quite a violent attempt to release something that never should have been released in the first place. It was just the wrong tool, the wrong thought process, and I was too young to know any better. But, some of these, and prior to that, I've had a few manipulative friends who would take my leg and just, try and rip it out of its socket, and that was going to help with highly arthritic.
Yeah.
And it just flared me up. It was terrible.
Yeah,
And yet, other times, it's the most magical. I think you were referring to what people would think of as mulligan techniques, looking after nags and snags. And sometimes they're very, very subtle, and sometimes they are very aggressive. But I might think of someone like Anne Frederick.
Okay.
So Anne Frederick is, I remember, I know Anne very well, and she was working on my hip one time, and this is probably 20 years ago, and she just had my leg lifting up. She's not a big lady,
right?
And, I used to be bigger, as you know, and she just played with my hip for about 20 minutes. And I thought, oh, this poor woman, and she had my leg up on her shoulder, holding it. 20 minutes.
She's sweating all over you?
No. And
I've had that happen. That's not get a massage, they're sweating on your back.
Yeah. But we were laughing. And then all of a sudden, after 20 minutes, she did the most subtle, skillful little thing. I didn't limp for probably 3 weeks after that.